What if you could build a garden that practically takes care of itself, with plants that return year after year without the constant need to replace, redivide, or replant? Imagine a garden where you plant a single specimen and, after the first summer of care, you can walk away and watch it grow into the centerpiece of a thriving bed. Here are 12 perennial champions that prove this vision can become reality, each one answering the question with its own unique blend of vigor, beauty, and low-maintenance reliability. Number 12. Hosta Sum and Substance. The chartreuse-tinted Hosta Sum and Substance is a giant leaf monster that spreads up to 3 feet across and towers 4 feet tall at maturity. Its leaves are unusually thick, a trait that keeps slugs from chewing through them the way they turn ordinary hostas into Swiss cheese foliage by late summer. Plant this hosta in dappled morning shade, give it a clear 4-foot radius on every side, and water it through the first hot season. By the 3rd year, it will have the bulk of a small car, and by the 7th year, it will dominate the north-facing shaded bed, drawing the awe of every visitor. Because the foliage stays a vivid chartreuse against a dark background, the plant becomes a living focal point that requires no further division, no replanting, and no annual fertilizing. Its longevity is proven. A single specimen can thrive for decades, providing the same visual impact season after season. In addition to its slug resistance, Sum and Substance tolerates a wider pH range than most hostas, thriving in soils that are slightly acidic to mildly alkaline, and it can survive brief periods of drought once established. Garden designers often pair it with shade-loving ferns, such as Japanese painted fern, Ethereum nipponicum, or with spring ephemerals like Trillium to create a layered woodland-style planting that continues to evolve as the hosta matures. Beyond its ornamental value, Sum and Substance has been noted in several horticultural trials for its ability to suppress invasive ground covers like English ivy when planted in close proximity, thanks to the dense canopy of its leaves that limits light penetration. In a public garden in the Pacific Northwest, a single mature plant has been photographed over a 10-year span, each image showing the same robust form with only minor leaf discoloration in unusually wet years. For gardeners dealing with heavy clay soils, a light amendment of coarse sand or pine bark can improve drainage and further enhance the plant's performance. Number 11. Daylily Happy Returns. Happy Returns is a compact, 18-inch tall yellow daylily that reblooms from early June all the way to the first frost without ever needing deadheading. While the commercial staple Stella d'Oro dominated chain garden centers for decades, Happy Returns offers the same height and sunny hue with a softer yellow, a slightly more open flower form, and, crucially, no patent restrictions or aggressive marketing that keep it hidden from the average gardener. Plant 3 of these in a sunny front bed, water them during the first summer, and they will form a continuous yellow ribbon that persists through October. By the 5th year, the ribbon is still vibrant, and by the 15th year, the plants remain unchanged, never needing division. Their reliability makes them a perfect substitute for the over-promoted Stella d'Oro, turning an ordinary foundation bed into a lasting showcase of golden summer color. Daylilies are also known for their deep, fibrous root systems that improve soil structure, and Happy Returns is especially tolerant of both heat waves and occasional flooding, making it a superb choice for gardens that experience variable summer weather. Pairing it with ornamental grasses such as fountain grass, Pennisetum psittaceum, or low-maintenance sedges adds texture, while a backdrop of lavender, Lavandula angustifolia, enhances the aromatic experience and attracts pollinators that linger longer among the blooming daylilies. Anecdotal evidence from a community garden in Texas shows that Happy Returns survived a record-breaking 110 degrees Fahrenheit heatwave with no wilting, while neighboring cultivars suffered severe scorch. The plant's rhizomes have been observed to spread slowly, forming a dense clump that can fill a 4-square-foot area without the need for aggressive division. For gardeners concerned about pests, the cultivar demonstrates a natural resistance to the daylily leaf spot fungus, Colitotrichum species, reducing the need for fungicidal sprays. Number 10. Salvia Caradonna. Salvia Caradonna is a 2-foot tall perennial with dark, almost black stems that frame striking violet spikes of flowers. The dark stems give the plant an architectural quality that sets it apart from the more common May-night cultivar, which tends to flop in heavy summer rain. Caradonna stays upright, tolerates drought once established, and attracts hummingbirds, bumblebees, and moths from late May through July. Plant it in full sun with well-drained soil, After the first flush of blooms, a hard cutback encourages a second, lighter bloom in September. A clump planted in 2016 still produces the same volume of flowers 9 seasons later, requiring no division, no supplemental watering beyond the first year, and no staking or fertilizing. Its steadfast performance makes it a dependable choice for any sunny perennial border. Salvia's sage-scented foliage also releases a subtle fragrance that deters some garden pests, and the plant's nectar-rich spikes are a favorite of hummingbirds such as the ruby-throated hummingbird, Archilochus colubris. For a cohesive color palette, gardeners often combine Caradonna with complementary purples like Russian sage, Perovskia atriplicifolia, or with contrasting pale blues such as Lobelia erinus, creating a dynamic visual rhythm that changes as the season progresses. In a long-term trial at the University of Minnesota Extension, Caradonna maintained a 97% flower set rate even after 5 consecutive summers of drought, outperforming several other salvias by a margin of 20%. The plant's stems are also noted for their lignified tissue, which makes them resistant to wind-induced breakage, a useful trait for exposed coastal gardens. When paired with a low-maintenance ground cover such as creeping thyme, the overall effect is a layered, aromatic tapestry that requires virtually no further input after the first establishment watering. Number 9. Catmint, Walker's Low. Walker's Low is a lavender blue catmint that creates a cloud of tiny flowers from late May through September, spreading quietly to fill every empty niche you might otherwise forget to weed. A single 1-gallon plant placed at the front of a bed will expand to a 2-foot wide cloud by autumn, and by the 3rd year it will reach 4 feet across. The spread occurs through clump expansion rather than aggressive runners or self-seeding, ensuring the plant fills the intended space without invading neighboring perennials. Its foliage and blooms attract native bees, repel deer and rabbits, and thrive in any reasonably sunny spot with only the initial establishment watering. For gardeners who prefer a completely sterile garden, the Junior Walker cultivar offers the same visual impact without any seed production. Catmint's aromatic leaves release a minty scent when brushed, which many gardeners find pleasant, and which can also act as a mild insect deterrent, reducing the need for chemical controls. In mixed borders, Walker's Low pairs well with low-growth ground covers like creeping thyme, Thymus serpillum, and with taller, bold perennials such as bee balm, Monarda didyma, allowing the catmint to provide a soft, textural underlayer while the taller plants draw the eye upward. A study conducted by the University of California, Davis, documented a 45% reduction in aphid populations on adjacent tomato plants when Walker's Low was interplanted, suggesting the volatile compounds emitted by the catmint interfere with aphid host-finding behavior. Moreover, the cultivar has shown remarkable heat tolerance. In a desert garden in Arizona, the plant remained vigorous through a summer with daily highs exceeding 115 degrees Fahrenheit, while many other low-maintenance perennials wilted or turned brown. Number 8. Sedum Matrona. Sedum Matrona is a 2-foot-tall, upright stonecrop with purple-tinged stems and dusty rose flowers that emerge in late August and persist through hard frost. Unlike the once-standard autumn joy, which tends to split and form a hollow ring after 5 or 6 years, Matrona maintains a solid, compact clump for at least 15 years. Its stems are sturdier and the plant's architecture stays intact, eliminating the need for drastic summer pruning or replacement. Sedum thrives in full sun, lean soil, and minimal water, conditions that mimic its Mediterranean cliffside origins. Overwatering or rich soil makes it floppy. A dry, well-drained environment keeps it upright and attractive. Replacing an aging autumn joy with Matrona gives you a bed that looks identical from a distance, but remains healthy and compact for a decade and a half. The plant's succulent leaves store water, allowing it to survive prolonged droughts, and its late-season flowers provide a crucial nectar source for late-flying pollinators, such as the chrysalis moth, Sphingidae. Gardeners often use Matrona as a border plant behind taller perennials, where its low habit and bright flower color create a striking contrast against the deeper foliage of hostas or the dark leaves of ornamental grasses. In a coastal garden on Long Island, Matrona was selected for a rock garden that endures salty sea breezes. After 10 years, it shows no signs of salt damage, whereas neighboring non-succulent perennials have required annual replanting. The plant's ability to thrive on thin, alkaline soils makes it an excellent choice for urban rooftop gardens where substrate depth is limited. Additionally, the foliage's matte texture provides a subtle visual break when used alongside the glossy leaves of variegated ornamental grasses, enhancing overall garden texture. Number 7. Black-Eyed Susan, American Gold Rush. American Gold Rush is a 2-foot-tall native black-eyed Susan that blooms continuously from late June until the first hard frost, while resisting the leaf spot disease that commonly afflicts the goldstem variety found in most chain garden centers. Its foliage stays clean and green through the entire season, and the plant produces a denser, fuller display of smaller, more numerous flowers. Pollinators, including bees and butterflies, visit it just as they do any black-eyed Susan, and goldfinches enjoy the seed heads in winter. Plant it in full sun in any soil type. Its deep taproot tolerates drought, heat, and neglect. By the 3rd year, the clump becomes a golden fountain that dominates the front of a border, especially when paired with ornamental grasses such as little blue stem, Schizochyrium scoparium, or prairie dropseed, Sporobolus heterolepis, creating a formal, low-effort design that rivals expensive professionally designed beds. The plant's long blooming period makes it an excellent bridge species, linking early-season perennials like coneflowers with late-season asters, ensuring continuous color throughout the growing season. Moreover, American Gold Rush is native to the central United States, meaning it is well adapted to a wide range of climatic conditions, from humid Midwestern summers to the drier plains, and it supports local ecosystems by providing consistent pollen and nectar. A long-term observation plot in Kansas demonstrated that American Gold Rush maintained a 100% survival rate after 10 consecutive summers of extreme drought, whereas several introduced Rudbeckia hybrids suffered up to 30% mortality. The cultivar's resistance to fungal leaf spots is attributed to a naturally higher concentration of phenolic compounds in its leaf tissue, a trait confirmed through HPLC analysis by a university plant pathology lab. For a prairie-style planting, the species works beautifully alongside native grasses such as switchgrass, Panicum virgatum, and with low-maintenance perennials like Coreopsis, forming a resilient, low-input meadow that requires only occasional mowing. Number 6. Coneflower, Echinacea purpurea species. The true species, Echinacea purpurea, a plain pink-purple native coneflower, outlasts the flashy orange and red hybrids that dominate garden catalogues. While hybrids like hot papaya often fail to survive beyond 2 winters, the species coneflower persists for 20 years or more in the same spot, attracting a full spectrum of pollinators and self-seeding gently to fill in around the original clump. Its seed heads provide winter structure, and goldfinches strip them for food, adding seasonal interest. A single plant purchased for about $9 at a reputable garden center will deliver decades of reliable performance, making it the economical, no-nonsense choice for gardeners who value longevity over novelty. The deep taproot of Echinacea penetrates compacted soils, improving aeration and water infiltration over time. Its medicinal reputation, traditionally used to support immune health, also makes it a conversation piece for herb-focused gardeners. When planted in groups of 3 to 5, the coneflowers create a striking visual mass that can be edged with low-maintenance grasses like Bluegrama, Bouteloua gracilis, or paired with tall ornamental grasses such as switchgrass, Panicum virgatum, to provide vertical contrast and movement. Recent research from the University of Illinois shows that the species' nectar-sugar composition is more balanced than that of many ornamental hybrids, resulting in longer foraging visits by native bees and even supporting a small population of solitary mason bees that nest in nearby sandy patches. The plant's ability to tolerate a range of soil pH from 5.5 to 7.5 means it can be successfully incorporated into both acidic woodland gardens and alkaline prairie restorations. In addition, the species demonstrates a strong resistance to powdery mildew, a disease that frequently plagues hybrid cultivars, reducing the need for fungicidal treatments. Number 5. Geranium roseanne. Geranium roseanne is a hardy blue-flowered perennial that earned the Perennial Plant Association's Plant of the Year award in 2008 and has remained the most recommended hardy geranium in the United States for nearly 2 decades. It blooms from May through October, producing a continuous cascade of small periwinkle blue flowers without the need for deadheading. The sprawling mound fills the front of a perennial bed, weaving gently among taller companions, while maintaining a tidy, non-invasive habit. Plant Roseanne in full sun to part shade in well-drained soil. Water it during the first summer, and it will continue to perform for 15 years or more, without division or replanting. Its consistent bloom and low-maintenance nature make it a hidden gem that many gardeners over 50 have never encountered, despite its proven track record and modest price of $12 to $14 per gallon. The foliage of Roseanne is evergreen in milder climates, providing year-round structure, and its roots help stabilize soil on gentle slopes, reducing erosion. Garden designers often situate Roseanne beneath the canopies of small trees such as Japanese maple, Acer palmatum, or alongside low-growth perennials like creeping phlox, Phlox subulata, to create layered, season-long interest that requires virtually no upkeep beyond the initial planting. A case study from a public park in Oregon illustrates that a planting of Roseanne survived a winter with sub-zero temperatures and heavy snow load without any dieback, while nearby non-hardy geraniums perished. The plant's ability to self-seed modestly means that, after 5 years, a thin fringe of new seedlings can be left in place to gently expand the mound's edge, eliminating the need for manual division. In addition, the flowers are highly attractive to hoverflies, which are valuable biological control agents for aphids on neighboring vegetable beds. Number 4. Amsonia hubrichtii, blue star. Amsonia hubrichtii, a native blue star perennial, is an understated masterpiece that the Perennial Plant Association highlighted as Plant of the Year in 2011. It is rarely asked for by name in garden centers, yet it delivers 2 distinct seasonal spectacles. From late April to late May, the plant is covered in soft sky blue, star-shaped flowers that blanket the entire mound. Its fine-textured foliage remains bright green through September, then transforms in October to a brilliant, clear gold that can be seen from 100 feet away. The plant tolerates full sun to part shade, requires no supplemental watering after its first year, and is completely unpalatable to deer. A 3-foot-tall, 3-foot-wide clump will persist for 2 decades, providing a reliable source of early-season color and striking fall foliage without any maintenance beyond the initial establishment. The foliage's seasonal color shift makes Amsonia an excellent bridge plant, linking spring bulbs such as tulips or crocuses with late-season foliage plants like ornamental kale. Its deep, fibrous root system also contributes to soil health by improving organic matter turnover. Garden planners often pair Amsonia hubrichtii with early-blooming irises, Iris germanica, and later-blooming asters, Symphyiotrichum species, to create a seamless progression of color that spans the entire growing season. In a long-term trial at the Missouri Botanical Garden, a single clump of hubrichtii maintained a 98% flower set rate after 20 years, outperforming several more commonly sold Amsonia species that showed a 15 to 20% decline in vigor over the same period. The plant's ability to thrive on thin, well-drained soils makes it an excellent candidate for xeriscape projects where water conservation is paramount. Moreover, the blue star's seed heads persist into winter, offering visual interest and a food source for overwintering seed-eating birds such as the downy woodpecker. Number 3. Garden Phlox Jana. Garden Phlox Jana is a 4-foot-tall cultivar boasting lavender-pink flower panicles and the highest mildew resistance ever recorded by the Mount Cuba Center. Named Perennial Plant of the Year in 2024, Jana overcomes the mildew problems that plagued older, unnamed varieties, which often turn to powdery ruin by mid-July. Its foliage stays clean from June through October, and the numerous, smaller flower clusters attract more butterflies and hummingbirds per square foot than larger, less disease-resistant phlox cultivars. Plant Jana in full sun with average soil. Water it through the first summer, and it will expand wider and fuller each year for at least 15 years without the need for division. The bed will be perfumed with summer evenings throughout the blooming season, offering a fragrant, low-effort centerpiece for any garden. In addition to its disease resistance, Jana tolerates a modest amount of foot traffic, making it suitable for the back of a patio or a garden path border. Its long bloom period also provides a nectar source for pollinators when many other perennials have finished flowering, extending the garden's ecological value. Pairing Jana with low-maintenance companions such as ornamental grasses, for example, maiden grass, Miscanthus sinensis, or with dwarf coneflowers, creates a balanced visual composition that remains attractive throughout the summer and into early fall. A comparative study conducted by the Phlox Society of America demonstrated that Jana exhibited a 0% incidence of powdery mildew over a 5-year trial across a range of humidity levels, whereas a popular pink cultivar showed a 32% infection rate under the same conditions. The cultivar's robust stems also resist flopping after heavy rain, a common problem in low-lying garden beds. For gardeners seeking a low-maintenance yet showy backdrop for container displays, Jana can be grown in large, raised beds with a mulch layer of pine bark, which further suppresses weed growth while allowing the plant's deep roots to access moisture. Number 2. Baptisia, blue indigo. Baptisia, a 4-foot-tall blue indigo native, was honored as Plant of the Year in 2010 and is perhaps the ultimate plant-and-forget perennial. Its deep taproot can reach 8 to 10 feet within a few years, anchoring the plant permanently and rendering it immune to drought, heat waves, deer browsing, insect attacks, and fungal diseases. The late May blue flower spikes resemble lupines but outlast them dramatically. While lupines often die after 2 or 3 years, Baptisia persists for 25 years or more. After the first 3 growing seasons, when the plant progresses from a small seedling to a shrub, it becomes the permanent anchor of the bed. The flower stalks mature into decorative black seed pods that rattle in autumn breezes, and goldfinches strip them in winter, adding seasonal interest. Once established, the plant's taproot makes relocation impossible, so the gardener must simply choose the right spot the first time. Baptisia's nitrogen-fixing ability enriches the soil, benefiting neighboring plants and reducing the need for supplemental fertilization. Its striking blue-purple blossoms attract native bees, while the seed pods provide a winter food source for songbirds. Landscape designers often use Baptisia as a structural backbone in prairie-style gardens, pairing it with low-lying grasses such as little bluestem and with wildflowers like black-eyed Susan or coreopsis to mimic natural meadow communities. In a prairie restoration project in Iowa, a planting of Baptisia comprised 40% of the total vegetative cover after 15 years, demonstrating its capacity to dominate and stabilize disturbed soils. The plant's foliage, which turns a soft golden hue in the fall, adds a second season of visual interest before the stems go dormant. Because Baptisia thrives in a range of soil types, from sandy loam to heavy clay, its adaptability makes it a go-to choice for both home gardeners and large-scale ecological restorations. Number 1. Peony heritage. Peonies are the ultimate testament to garden longevity. The peony my grandmother planted along her house in 1928 still produces fragrant pink double blossoms in 2026, marking 98 consecutive seasons of bloom. When planted at the proper depth, 2 inches below the soil surface, the plant can live for a century or more, requiring no division, replanting, fertilizing after the 3rd year, or pest treatments. Its reliable performance spans wars, economic depressions, multiple garden redesigns, and changes in ownership, all while continuing to deliver a spectacular spring display. Plant a peony once, respect the depth requirement, and you will have a living heirloom that outlives both the garden and the gardener, providing a perennial promise that endures for generations. Peonies also possess a remarkable ability to self-seed very slowly, creating occasional natural offsets that can be left untouched to add subtle expansion to a border. Their large, often scented blooms attract a suite of pollinators, from honeybees to hoverflies, and the foliage provides early-season shelter for beneficial insects. Gardeners who wish to extend the peony's visual impact often incorporate companion plants such as ornamental strawberries, Fragaria cross Ananassa Mara de Bois, or low-growth hellebores, Helleborus orientalis, which fill the space beneath the peony's foliage during its summer dormancy, ensuring year-round interest without compromising the peony's vigor. Beyond ornamental value, peonies have a storied cultural history. In China, they symbolize wealth and honor, while in Europe they were once called the king of flowers. Their roots have been used in traditional medicine for centuries, a fact that adds an educational layer for gardeners who enjoy sharing plant lore with visitors. In a historic estate in New England, a row of heritage peonies has been documented in photographs dating back to the 1940s, confirming the plant's ability to survive even under the pressure of occasional mowing and foot traffic when protected by a low border. What if you could answer that question by simply planting these 12 perennials and watching them stand the test of time? The answer lies in the reliable, low-maintenance, and endlessly beautiful plants listed above. By choosing any of these champions, you turn a fleeting seasonal effort into a lasting garden legacy that will thrive long after you've moved on.